The Monday Night Raw after Survivor Series was a very interesting Monday Night Raw, and there was a certain moment of Monday Night Raw that truly stood out to me, but we're going to be going over that and a little bit more of Monday Night Raw. So I ask if you guys are new here to like this video and also subscribe to the channel, because if you guys do that, we go to a different stratosphere. That's just the way it goes. Guys, my name is Billy TKO. And let's just hop directly into the video. So one of the biggest key important factors to take away from Monday Night Raw last night was Jey Uso versus LA Knight. And I ask you guys to stay tuned till the end of this video, because we are going to be getting into that one specific part later in this video. But I want to talk about LA Knight and Jey Uso right now. So last night we seen these two face off, and if you guys go back to my video from yesterday, you would have seen that I actually predicted Jey Uso winning this match to move himself into the final slot of the Last Time Is Now tournament, but that is actually not what took place. Last night we seen LA Knight defeat Jey Uso in the Last Time Is Now tournament, which means that LA Knight advances to that final spot. Now, with that being said, at the end of this match, we actually had a moment where Jey Uso they didn't go to commercial or anything like that. They just kind of stood, and obviously you could see frustration building up on Jey Uso's face, and he started throwing the Prime around, and he was just very angry, slamming the steps. Now, this is huge in itself, because Jey Uso is definitely teasing that quote-unquote heel turn, and it's now more than ever, right? Because Jey Uso has kind of been on this complete decline. Obviously, the internet wrestling community, or IWC, if that's what you want to call them, has completely plummeted against Jey Uso. If you go back even a year's time when he won the Intercontinental Championship, everybody was like, oh my God, Jey Uso is this great thing. He's a single star now. WWE needed to push him to the moon. And then WWE ultimately do that, and he wins the World Heavyweight Championship. And just like any other superstar that's ever existed in the WWE or just wrestling in general, when somebody gets too hot, people oftentimes turn against that person, and that's exactly what happened. People completely turned against Jey Uso, and it was very interesting to see Jey Uso kind of tap into that very angry role, if you will. It wasn't something that I necessarily expected, but it was something that I can get behind. Now, there is one thing that I must say about this whole dynamic Jey Uso, LA Knight, the Last Time Is Now tournament. What I hate about it is something that we're going to talk about later, and it ultimately just means that LA Knight is probably going to get the crap end of the stick one more time. And I think that's what hurts me the most through seeing this. Of course, I was super happy about the Jey Uso, the tease of the heel turn. I think it's going to be interesting to tap into that side of Jey Uso, especially by himself. But really, it killed me to see LA Knight go into this finals knowing, like, okay, he's probably not going to win it. It's just another accolade that WWE is going to pull away from LA Knight. He's obviously one of the top guys in the company, and obviously WWE sees something in him, but they refuse to do anything of extraordinary with LA Knight. And I think, to me, that's just so daunting, and it's so hurtful as somebody who's been rooting for LA Knight in the 2023 Money in the Bank, 2024 Money in the Bank, the Royal Rumbles, etc., etc. There were so many times where you could have had LA Knight win, and you just ultimately didn't. He was so over with the fans. You give him the United States Championship, and ultimately does nothing following that. That hurts. It hurts. It pulls at my heartstrings, because this guy deserves it, and we're not giving it to him. So ultimately, I knew as soon as he won, I was like, WWE, you're going to do it to me, aren't you? And I'm not obviously 100% sure, because WWE ultimately, like last night, could just swerve me and have a different outcome. I just don't think they will. So I'm feeling a little bit of pain over the LA Knight situation. So following up after the LA Knight situation, the reason why you guys hear a little bit of frustration on my voice is because we would have Gunther taking on Solo Sikoa, and this was a very solid match, and not really what I expected out of Gunther and Solo Sikoa. I definitely thought it was just going to be like your WWE style match, but these guys went blow for blow and just completely, I mean, it was exactly what you expect out of a semifinal tournament. It's like if I were to go watch the NFC or the AFC championship game, you expect blow for blow, hard hitting, fast pace. that's exactly what they gave us. And ultimately, of course, Gunther did come out with the victory after Tala Tonga tried to get involved in the match. And then ultimately, you would see Gunther just at the end just kind of kick Solo Sikoa in a place where no man wants to be kicked. And he would ultimately win the match. It was pretty simple and straightforward, but the match itself was like much better than I expected out of the two of them. Like, again, just talking about it for a second, I really thought in my heart of hearts, I was like, okay, going into this, it's just going to be like maybe a 6-7 minute, just regular WWE style match. And that is not what we got. I remember looking at one point, I seen Solo Sikoa's chest. It was just beat red. I was like, oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it. You could see my live reaction if you guys follow me on TikTok or anywhere else like that. But it was horrible. And they did. They tore the house down. It was exactly what I wanted from those two. Again, didn't think I'd get it, but we did. So Gunther moves on in the Last Time Is Now tournament, and he is a part of the final. So we will see him taking on LA Knight this Friday on Friday Night SmackDown. And the winner of that will be John Cena's final opponent, which is very intriguing because, again, it's not what I expected. At the end of the match, you would see LA Knight coming out, and he told Gunther just pretty much enjoy this because this won't be the song that's playing on Friday after I win. So that's always nice, and it's going to be fun to see. Now, again, kind of going back, I think this is just a very important role to get Gunther ultimately to that final slot. Again, it just hurts because LA Knight is so good and WWE refuses to just they refuse to capitalize on this guy. Now, the thing about LA Knight is he oozes charisma, which is exactly what John Cena was. And Gunther is the polar opposite of John Cena, so both technically work. You could go either route, and I think people would be satisfied. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'd be happy with LA Knight, and then other people are like, oh, well, I'd be happy with Gunther. I think you could, again, make a very strong case for both of them, like I said in my video yesterday. Again, just oozing charisma from LA Knight. I love it. I want to see him succeed, and if he ultimately had this opportunity, I think if you have John Cena win his final match, I think LA Knight's a good opponent. I think if you're going to have John Cena lose, then Gunther's your better option. But I guess we're going to see about that one. Now, throughout Monday Night Raw, we did have conversations about the masked man from Survivor Series, and we never really got an actual explanation of who it was. We just kind of had Paul Heyman denying the fact that he was ever really involved with it. Now, one thing that he did mention, though, is that Bron Breakker actually defeated CM Punk. He did. He pinned CM Punk in the War Games match. No matter how he did it, he did it. So, later in the night, what we would see is the Vision come out to the ring. Now, I wasn't necessarily expecting anything here. I was expecting Paul Heyman to do exactly what he did in the beginning. You know, go out there, thank people. You know, Brock Lesnar, you're still the beast. Drew McIntyre, it was a pleasure doing business with you. And then explain Bron Breakker, Logan Paul, and Bronson Reed. And we just kind of move forward a little bit, maybe talk about the Mystery Man. Whatever. That is not what we got. In fact, what we got at the end of Paul Heyman speaking, he talked about how on January 5th in Barclays Center, New York, we're going to be getting CM Punk taking on Bron Breakker for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this is obviously a huge deal. Bron Breakker is getting his first shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Let's talk about it for a second. That is massive. For a main event scene that is filled with, I don't want to call them like crazy old heads because they're not, but they're obviously older. It's nice to get some new blood involved, get them, really invested in that main event slot rather than just being the bad guys. No, let them go chase down the championship, and that's exactly what I think we're going to get from Bron Breakker, and that excites me because we need it. I've complained about Carmelo Hayes. You guys have heard me on countless occasions. The same applies for Bron Breakker. Even though he is technically intertwined with the main event circle, he was never fully there, and now he really is. Do I think that Bron Breakker wins at the Barclays Center? No, I don't. I don't think Bron Breakker actually wins there, but I do feel in my heart of hearts that it's going to be a very solid match and something that you don't expect out of Bron Breakker. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into Bron Breakker, and let's talk about the segment that he had. Bron Breakker cut a promo last night, and I easily could have been promo of the year if you really think about it. Bron Breakker, by God, had something to say. And he talked about how CM Punk had told him after WrestleMania 40 or 41, whatever, he had told him, like, oh, let's see if you can cut a promo with the big guys now. And he was just, consider the promo cut. And he dropped the mic, and then the mic bounced perfectly and landed in Logan Paul's hands, and damn, it was great. But he also would talk about just, how AJ Lee is the bigger star of the two, which in some cases, if you really wanted to argue that, I guess you could make an argument for it. And then you had him say, the way he said the word, it was just, again, you can go back in my live watch along, and you could see my reaction. It was just pure like, oh yeah, that's cool. That's how you say it. He said bitch, and the way that he said it was just so like, man, that's refreshing. Like, it didn't sound like he was trying to censor it in any type of way or make it sound like it was this crazy thing. He said it like a normal human being, and it came off dope. And Bron Breakker is just an exciting new fit into that main event scene. And obviously the story that they're going to tell with CM Punk, and then eventually down the line, you'll get the story with Seth Rollins. I'm cool with both of them. I genuinely am. Now, again, going back to it, they didn't really answer any questions about what transpired at Survivor Series. They didn't talk about the Masked Man much. In fact, he kind of just ignored it. He said, the Masked Man, blah, blah, blah. I could have done it anyways. I had no part of that. Okay, cool, got it, whatever. Now, Triple H did say that this was going to be an epic Monday Night Raw, and we're coming in here and we're talking about 3 talking points. And don't get me wrong, there were other things like the women's matches that came in and they delivered really well, but Triple H told me that it was going to be epic. It was not. It was not. It was good. It was not epic. So I'll tell you guys what. That's all I have for you in this segment. So I ask, if you guys are new here, to definitely like this video and also subscribe to the channel. Monday Night Raw, it was good. It wasn't epic. It wasn't great. It wasn't anything like that. But it did deliver in some key parts where it needed to. And that matters to me as a viewer. So I appreciate WWE for that. And of course, Triple H, he does the longevity thing. You know what I mean? So they're going to play out this Masked Man storyline for as humanly long as they possibly can. Now, guys, that is all I have for you today. I'll be talking to you in the next one, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Peace.